Morning, morning. It is January 30th, and you guessed it, we're zeroing. Well,
Yay.
you might not have guessed it,
You
but
told them.
I don't think I said it yet that we were going to zero today. But this was a planned zero. It's not like we woke up and we're like, we're going to zero. It's 9:34. We're walking into town to get our resupply, get our baggage, and maybe a little bit of town grub. So today is way cooler than yesterday. Yesterday, I'm pretty sure I got a little bit of sun poisoning. My face ended up turning straight purple. You can probably still see it. It's still probably extremely, extremely red. So order of apparatus in town is definitely need a hat. The no hat yesterday was just brutal to not have it. Super exposed. It's not really a physical zero. You feel physically fine?
It's a physical zero for me because I have a bone bruise on one back of my hip from my pack and my feet are struggling.
Oh, okay. So on Magpie's end, it's a physical zero. For me, it's more just, I like being lazy.
And we got to town rather late yesterday.
Yeah, and we got to town rather late.
And we have to do a bunch of logistics stuff. We have to change our flights and figure out what we're doing.
Yeah, so we're staying at the Mackenzie Country Hotel. It's called a hotel. And surprisingly, the hotel is quote unquote cheaper than a lot of the motels. But I say cheaper with an asterisk because when I booked it, it was cheaper. But then when I looked at the motels surrounding us today, the motels were a bit cheaper, like 10 New Zealand dollars cheaper. And they probably would have been better. But
you're just upset because our hotel room doesn't have air conditioning because it's like in a historic building.
Well, and the Wi-Fi is
and
just
the Wi-Fi is
really,
a little bit slow.
They don't like you uploading stuff on it. So for accommodation, I would not recommend the Mackenzie Hotel just out of personal bias. It's probably great for a ski hotel, but for hikers, it's a little on the outskirts of town. When we were booking it,
there wasn't much available.
No, when we were booking...
There was really nothing available. These motels were not available at all.
Yeah, when we were booking it in Lake Tekapo, the one spot that would have been really cool to stay, the mountain chalets, they weren't available for 2 nights. They were available for tonight, but not last night. And then some of this other stuff wasn't available for 2 nights. So, again, just figure out your booking your own way. But, yeah, I'm a little bummed about our stop. Oh, well. We're going to walk into town, get some chores done, resupply for the section ahead, eat some food, do some things. All right.
That's exactly what I give him all the time.
Oh, you
feed you a snack, no more noise.
You waited until I said I liked that and started filming that sign.
I'm teasing you.
Is it open? It might be. Back soon. Might not be open. She found yarn. Dangerous. I love little towns that have town squares like this. Beautiful town square. But we're more worried about the 4 square. Well, the resupply is done. I'm not exactly stoked about this resupply, but it is what it is. So the town that we're staying in, Twizel, has 2 4 squares. Some have better options than the other. There's one big one and one average size one. I don't know, both are about the same price, about the same selection. The bigger one might have a teensy bit more, but we went to both, so not a huge selection, but it is a smaller town. So this should be 4 days of food to get to the town of Wanaki. Hopefully we can do it in less than 4 days, but just 4 days in case the trail decides to do a bamboozle. So what we got going is a lot of protein bars, Snickers bars, which are also considered protein bars in my opinion, new toothbrush, about time, small bottle of toothpaste. So I've said this before, overseas doesn't really have Mio drinks. And on the US and Canadian, well, not even Canada, on the US trails, Mio is like my superpower. But I can't do Mio, so instead, chewing gum is my new superpower for the monotonous miles. Got some salams, got some M&Ms. Garden peas have been so choice. Ramens, the coos, coffee, a little bit of gummies at the end of the night. Of course, you got to get your chips in. And some tortillas, not for lunch, but just for, I love doing a like ramen pea wrap. So that is the resupply. I'm gonna start packing that up. This is just a little bit of town snickage. Creamy dip. Didn't know what this was, but thought I'd try it. 2 very healthy drinks. Of course, you gotta go super healthy with Pepsi. But yeah, it's like noon. So I was saying the Wi-Fi here was pretty bad. The cafe we had breakfast at this morning, Hydro, has excellent Wi-Fi. So if you need Wi-Fi, go grab yourself a cup of coffee and hop on the Wi-Fi. So the room is absolutely trashed, but that's okay because we're gonna clean it up. Like I said, always leave your stuff cleaner than it looks. Well, not than it looks. Leave it as clean as you possibly can. So I'm gonna start packing up. 0 days in full swing. Wish we had AC, but
It's not that hot out today.
it's not that hot out. Yeah, that's about it. If I think of something, I'll say something. But besides that, gonna chillax, look at the maps ahead, actually start planning our finish date. We're gonna rebook our flights. Hoping we can do this trail in underneath that 100-day mark. We're at day, like, I think today is technically day 83. So that would give us 16 more days of hiking to do like 340 official miles plus the 50-mile potential alternate around Queenstown, which is 390 miles. So it's definitely doable. It's going to be a little bit of a push. It's just all about averaging out the miles, especially in New Zealand. Some days you fight for a 20-miler or even sub 20-miler. Some days you can cruise out at 30. So it's going to be all about averaging it. I'm really hoping we can get that 100-day mark, which I think is possible. Little tidbit of information. What I was saying before I so really got cut off again is little tidbit of information. I'm going to say this with an asterisk, but it is a useful piece of information. So if you don't want to apply for the full visitor visa and you just want to do the NZETA, which is free for most countries, I think a lot of countries it is. It gives you 90 days in the country without getting a full visa. So you could asterisk hike the full TA in 90 days. You would have to be very, very, for lack of a better word, militant with your time. We have taken no less now than 10 zeros. So if you took 10 zeros off our pace, we would be at day 73 instead of day 83 right now. And we could finish on day 89, which was the original itinerary. Is like finish day 88 or 89, fly back to Auckland, and then get a flight out. So you could. There are going to be days that you really fight for the miles, like in the Richmond Ranges. There are going to be days that you're doing forward momentum, but they're technical zeros. So like when we did the giant road walk around the Retire River, we did, I don't know, that 36 total alternate miles, but like we split into 2 days. But technically those 2 days didn't count as any forward trail miles, but we still were hiking all day. So logistically you would have to be very, very, very strong with your time. And you might, you might enjoy it. That might be your type of hiking. You might not. I would recommend personally giving yourself a little bit of wiggle room because the TA is a trail that seems to always throw a little bit of bamboozle at you with flooding alternates, with weather. Some of these sections, literally, if it was pouring down rain, you're going to get trapped in a hut and can't cross said river if it swells. So, like, there's a lot of logistics here that could mess up that 90-day window if you're trying to do it in the NZETA. Granted, I bet people have done it. I bet if that's your type of hiking, you could do it. But just make it very, very tight, and you would have to be very, very militant with your time. So I wanted to put that in there. tidbit of information. Don't know why, but I thought might be useful for some folks. All right, I'm gonna start packing up the mess. I don't like relaxing in sprawl, so I'm gonna start packing up the mess, packing up this. Good stuff. Something else, I think. Oh yeah. Enjoy the spices.
What?
Should we say goodbye to Twizzle?
By Twizzle.
Bye, Twizzle. Oh, yeah.
Got little oranges on it.
Oh, look at you. So you can tell which side of the room is my side. Very organized, consolidated. I did a full clean sweep earlier today. Doesn't look like it now because of magpies. Magpies. That ice cream is mine, but the rest magpies. So I did a clean sweep. We went into town mostly for ice cream, and then we just found dinner along the way.
We got Indian food.
Yeah.
It was okay. It wasn't amazing.
I honestly would recommend the Thai joint over the Indian joint.
The Thai joint was like really good. The Indian place was just like fine.
Yeah. Granted, I have a bias. I do tend to like Thai food better. But the Indian joint was good. I just would recommend the Thai joint. If you're only in town for one night, recommend the Thai joint over. It was just heaping portions, a lot of good veggies. The Indian joint...
It was average. The Thai joint, I would say, was an above average Thai place.
I just also didn't feel as healthy because I didn't feel like I ate as many veggies, which is okay because I'm all about health. I'm only all about health. I'm going to eat a liter of ice cream. Okay.
Did you take my clothes off yet, or are you still filming?
All right. Good zero day.